Okay, so after being held hostage by one of my subscribers at hostile levels, I have decided to release this video a bit early. And now I like to keep my life, and I would like to build this community before one of you takes my life, because I've gotten not only one but a few people that's like, oh, they want this video before anything else because they want to see how I react to some of their takes on Blue Lock, right? And honestly, you got surprised me a little bit with some of your takes, right? I'm not gonna hold you. I'm pretty proud. I'm not gonna hold you. If you are subscribed to me and you are one of the people that commented, I am proud that you commented, and I'm glad that you're participating. I want this community to be very very lively, and I want us to all be acquainted and friends. This should be a safe space for everybody to get their takes off, unless you're trying to say Saitoshi is number one in the verse, and in that case, go home, buddy, go home. All right, nah, but all jokes aside, let's just get right into it. Starting off with the first one, which is from Grapefruit, a friend of mine's and one of my best supporters, right? And his take was Nagi is the best written in the manga. Now it's pretty bold. I ain't gonna hold you, it's pretty bold. Personally, I do think Nagi, the second protagonist, or you could say the deuteragonist, he is very interesting, and his character and biggest character arc has been in the New Eagles League, where he went from being, arguably one of the best in the New Eagles League to one of the worst. And his downfall was something foreshadowed from the start, I'd say. And then they kept pulling on it until eventually, the thread was gone and Nagi was eliminated. I do think he has some of the best development and progression throughout most characters. So calling him the best written character in the manga is arguable, but personally, I would probably either give that to probably Kaiser, just cause, like, personally, me, Kaiser is perfectly written, and he does what he's supposed to do at an elite level. I mean, like, look, there's nothing wrong. You can go with somebody with a sad backstory, great design, and he's very likable and dislikable because, he's in a way an antagonist, right? So we have another Nagi take from Joshua, and he said Nagi is still a top 5 striker in Blue Lock. Okay, who's gonna tell him? I mean, right? Okay, everybody knows me. I'm one of the biggest Nagi glazers of all time, right? And even I'll say Nagi top 5 striker in Blue Lock. In Blue Lock, let's see, we gotta compare him to characters like Isagi, which he's not. Rin, definitely not. Baro, no. Shido, probably not either. And who else? I ain't gonna hold you. No. In Blue Lock, there's other people that Chigiri, Kunigami, Rayo. Look, I think that a motivated Nagi is giving majority of the people I just named a slight run for their money, but he's not consistent enough on the level that they are to be on that same playing field, if y'all get what I'm saying, right? But it's a very bold take. And we have from Shuriken, another one of my old friends. Appreciate you for commenting, Shuriken. It's good to see you. And his comment was, Shido deserves to be top 3. Now, I like how instead of like just claiming like he's like Shido is top 3, he says Shido deserves to be top 3. Now, honestly, I do think Shido is kind of got snuffed out of his New Eagles League top 3 because, Rin and Isagi, they kind of did the number one thing. So I do think Shido deserves to be up there and talked about. Shido doesn't get talked about a lot due to the fact that we have more interesting characters that people just like more, like Baro, Isagi, Rin. Those are the names that are usually tossed up. But personally, yeah, Shido is a sleeper pick. He's a character that does what he's supposed to do at an elite level, and people like him because he's just funny and entertaining. And every time he's in the manga, it's just fun vibes from him. Like he's a fun character. Um, Next take is from MF Kashi, and he says Kunigami has the most potential as an all-around player in terms of what he can do. However, his lack of creativity in his plays just makes him look like a better version of Raichi at the moment. High key, you might be spitting right, and I'll say why you're spitting. Kunigami has some of the best physical stats and the best physique that we've seen out of the Blue Lockers so far, and he's really good at being a post player and a defensive midfielder like Ego has put him out to be. He was the only player and the only player that we've seen be capable of completely shutting Shido down for that long of a time, which again, nobody has been capable of doing. Even some masters kind of just struggle with locking Shido up, like Loki kind of, he outsped to catch up to Shido, but it was still a 50-50 chance that Shido could have scored on Loki, right? And that's not a Loki downscale. Shido really just is that unstoppable. But I do think that saying he looks like a better version of Raichi is interesting. I think that he doesn't, just off the fact that Raichi doesn't do as much as Kunigami at all. Regardless, his defense is good, but Kunigami will lock up and mark and stop goals, while Raichi will more mark and then, restrict somebody's movements than just like stopping goals directly, right? But that's a good take. I like where your head's at. His creativity does need a lot more work, right? And we have another take from Joshua Exley. I guess we're just gonna allow it. Loki and Rin will have one last matchup, both in flow, and Rin will get destroyed and Loki will score. I would love to see that. I would love to see Destroyer Mode Rin versus Loki and Flow, but I don't think we're going to get it this game. We might get it later on, but we might not get it this game because Rin has kind of been in the shadows a bit this game, just like Isagi, and Loki I don't think will go all out fully, especially after the goal he just did. I think he's just going to continue to play at that level and not have to enter Flow or anything of that manner. He just used Predator's Eye, so I don't know if we'll get anything else from him for this game, right? So, we have a comment from Unknown, somebody that we always see on this channel too. Great sub. He says, Shido is top 3 in Blue Lock, as he deserves. Has top 5 dribbles in Blue Lock, and is a near New Gen 11 level, if not New Gen 11 level player. Okay, Unknown, I know that you're a heavy Shido fan, so I am going to be completely honest with you. Shido is top 5 in Blue Lock. I think he's top 5 in Blue Lock currently, right? I'll give him that. That there's no problem with me giving Shido top 5 in Blue Lock. Top 3, I don't want to say he is now because I just haven't seen enough of him, but I'd say just off of the implications and just like how good he is, I'd say he can easily be top 5. But the top 3 is a little contentious. But you saying he has top 5 dribbles in Blue Lock, I don't know, Unknown. It's like he did dribble past Ikaguri, and he did kind of move past some France defenders. But to say that he has top 5 dribbles, I want you to be directly honest with this, alright? Just think about all the times on who the people that he's dribbled, and just think about, would you put him in names with like Batra, Yukamiya, like Ren, the 1v1 demon? Like just really think about that for a second, Unknown. I just want you to think about that. Now, him being a near New Gen 11 player, I don't have any contentions with that. I mean, we clearly have seen the level of what a New Gen 11 can play on in the Neo Eagles League and now in the U20 World Cup arc, and I think Shido can definitely play near that level, if not on that level, right? But that's all for that take. And the next one is from Ranpo, somebody that I peeped that is also new to this channel, and has been very vocal about his takes and opinions. All right. Oh, he has a few here. Okay. All right, let me lock in. So Rampo said, Chris is the best coach. I don't disagree with that. I think Chris made the best progression with his players, besides like Nagi, even though at the start, Nagi was a demon. Rin has already surpassed Sai. Thank you. Oh my god, that's such a good take. That's not even a hot take. That's such a good take. He surpassed Sai, in my opinion, at the end of the Neo Egos League game. And then, he then just reinforces that fact with the Nigeria game and his training. And even, a little bit of the France game. He was capable of dribbling past Loki with Sai's move, right? And, next take. Kunigami has the worst NEL run besides Nagi. No, I can't give that to you. Honestly, if I say who had the worst run, it probably had to be Yukimiya. I think Yukimiya had a worse. I'm not gonna say he had the worst run, but he had a worser run than Kunigami. Because at least I'll say Kunigami scores 2 goals and he does better than Yukimiya in almost every game. Besides maybe, no, I'd say even Manshine he was doing pretty solid. And then he definitely did better than him in Ubers. Like blocking borrow shot. It's like, yeah, I can't give that to him when like Yukimiya and Kunigami are in the same John. Ren's crash shot was top 5 best goals, only behind Kaiser and Nagi's. Yeah, easily one of Bullock's best goals. Writing and just how crazy the goal is, I would put that shit in my top 3 with Kaiser and Nagi. I ain't going with you. Kaiser has like 3 goals in the top 5 by far. We have somebody named Taffy saying Gojo takes the whole verse out with Red. That's not a hot take, but I mean, it's funny that you say that because I think Isagi would actually outsmart him with his spatial awareness and just like duck the Red with his hypersonic speed, man. It'd be insane. But let's move on to Goric Fiction. I don't know if this is really a hot take, but my U20 Bullock rankings have been called very controversial. Loki, Hugo, Bunny, Sai, Isagi, Kaiser, Rin, Lorenzo, all in the same 5 category, yeah. And then 6 Karasu, 7 Baro, Batra, and Shido. 8 is Peak Nagi, and then Rayo. And then 9 is Hiyori, and then 10 is Charles. 11 is Nico, 12 is Chigure and Kunigami, 13 is Gagamaru, 14 is Otoya, Ness, and Yukimiya, 15 is Onazi, 16 is Aiku, 17 is others. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a long video, guys. Get the popcorn. I also think Corona is underrated and above RU. Okay, you know what? Just to get that out of the way, I also think Corona is underrated and above RU. Okay, so Loki, yes, Loki is the best U20 player by far. I don't know why people put him in conversations with Bunny. We have seen 1 goal of Bunny. We've seen a little bit of statements. Bro, Loki's in the World 5. Like, what are we talking about? Hugo is number 2. I agree with that. I think Hugo has clearly shown that he's top 2. I'm not gonna lie. Hugo's clearly shown, if anything, he's top 2. Bunny being number 3, narrative, that's perfectly fine. Just let it go with it that he's being kind of uplifted to be Sai's villain, so he has to clearly be way stronger than Sai or just kind of superior to Sai. And then he put Sai at 4. Everybody knows how I feel about Sai. I'm not going to say anything about that. Then he said Isagi, Kaiser, Ren, Lorenzo. Lorenzo is pretty high, and I'd honestly put Karasu in that conversation with the number 5s, and because just off of the recency. And to save a little bit of time, I won't even lie, the rest of the list can kind of be switched around a little bit. But it's not even that bad of a list. It's not that bad of a list. It can be argued for. And Galactivino said, Loki is still the best U20 player. This shouldn't even be a hot take, but some might disagree. Some think Bunny is the best U20 player, which I think is pretty weird, honestly. I don't know why people keep coming to this conclusion that he is. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's easily Loki. And LX, oh my, go LX. We love to see LX on the channel. Alright. He said, I got a few. Isagi was not better than Ren or Kaiser by the end of the NEL. Ooh. Now that's spicy. I'm gonna attack this one first. I think it can be argued that in a pure when it comes to skill and how effective they are on the field, I think clearly Usagi is better than Kaiser and Ren. But when it comes to making an impact and scoring goals and just being unstoppable and unpredictable, it's Kaiser and Ren. Both Kaiser and Ren are like forces of nature when it comes to either scoring a goal or just stopping the momentum of the game in their favor. It's actually insane how many times they do this in the PXG game, right? But next take is from LX is Shido and Baro are both clear above Bachira. I'm assuming that's what he meant. Right now, as of the moment, I'd say Shido and Baro are definitely above Bachira. Onazi would outperform 90% of Block if he was in the Neo Eagles League. Oh, 100%. I ain't gonna hold you, buff that up to 95%. Onazi's running through majority of the Neo Eagles League, like, pretty comfortably. The Nigerian CB Oba Bona are some is better than RU. Hugo is better than Loki. Whoa, LX, don't do this to me, LX, please. Oh my gosh, he just had it thrown up last one. Like, Hugo is better than Loki, no. Okay, the Nigerian CB Obabona, I don't think he is better than RU, and that is specifically because he just lacks the feats, and he was only capable of doing a few things, which is kind of knocking Ren off balance and, you know, headering the ball away from him like once. It doesn't do that much. He blocked like 1 or 2 shots. He did solid that game. And he said Hugo is better than Loki. Now, I do think this is a misconception with Hugo's philosophy. Although Hugo says he's number 2 to Loki, that does not directly correlate to him being like worse than him. He can like be his partner in crime and assist him, yes, but in the grand scheme of things, when it comes down to it, Hugo might actually be above Loki. And this is something I haven't shared with you guys because this is something I've kind of been bickering with myself about. But in the grand scheme of things, Hugo, as a total, might be better than Loki. And this is because, you know, just because you're playing number 2 or you're assisting people does not mean that you cannot be better than them, even if you're not directly in the spotlight. Hugo has been behind most of Loki's crazy plays and most of Francis' crazy plays. So do I think it's insane to say Hugo over Loki? Not at the moment. But that was the last, oh my god, this video is 17 minutes and 30 seconds. That was the last take, and I'm not gonna hold you guys. You guys showed out for this one. You guys had a lot of takes. I loved every single one of them. And hey, I'm loving my community. If you guys like this video and want me to do another one like this, because I love reacting to your hot takes, leave it down in the comments and like and subscribe, guys. We are popping off recently. I kid you not, we're on a hot streak of hitting 1K on every single video that I've uploaded this past month. So it would be great if we could keep the streak going and keep going 1K up, and even more, I'd appreciate that. And thank you guys for the love, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.